Programming skills using C, lecture number 26, passing parameters to functions in C. Till now you have written quite a few function programs by yourself, and you have been passing parameters to these functions. You also have used the inbuilt functions, and you have, for example, sqrt, printf, scanf, all these functions, and you have passed parameters to that. We shall go in a little more depth about passing parameters to functions in C. So in this lecture, you will understand two ways of passing parameters to functions, by value and by reference. Understanding this is very, very important. So let us take the first aspect. We will write, you write a function subprogram to swap two numbers. And I'm very sure all of you will write a function like this, that is swap two numbers, int a, int b, and then you know the algorithm to swap numbers. You have done that already. So you say assign value in a to temp and copy the value in b to a, and temp, this is circular, and therefore you expect it to swap two numbers. And suppose you have a main program here, you assign 20 to x and 30 to y, and you call this function swap numbers x comma y. As you see here, beginning it will print x is equal to 20, y is equal to 30. What will happen after you swap numbers using this function? You will be surprised. You will get the same numbers, 20 and 30. In other words, though you have passed values here of x and y, nothing has happened. X will contain still 20 and y still contains 30. It has not swapped at all. So there is some problem therefore. Therefore, how are you going to swap numbers? To do that, we have to go to, already here again, understand passing by value. That means x contained 20, y had 30. I put this 20 in a variable here, and then put 30 in here, and it swapped. But as you see here, these both the cups x and y still contains, this contains 20 and this contains 30. Therefore the values are not, though you have just put those values here. So this is called passing parameters by value. I put those values, but my original array variables contain the same numbers, same values. So there is not going to be any change, though inside it has changed, swapped numbers, but it is not affected in these two variables x and y. So the question therefore, how are we going to swap numbers? And for that we have to swap numbers using reference, by passing parameters by reference. I'll try explain to you. Now here you have got x contains 20 and y contains 30. So what I am going to do is I am going to pass only the address of x. I am going to pass the address of y. I put therefore 2000 in A and 5000 in B. I do this 5000 in B. And then let us see what happens. Now what I do is, now 2000 is there. Value at 2000. Value of 2000 is how much? 20. So it goes into 20. What is the value at 5000? It is 30. So I'm exchanging 30. So now therefore what has happened now? Uh, Value at 5000 is assigned to value at 2000. Naturally, as you see, 30 has gone there. 30 has gone there. Now what do you do? Now you copy this value in temp variable to value to 5000, address 5000. That is address 5000. So this is, I'm copying therefore. Now temp contains, as you know, 20, and that is copied. As you see now, these two values are exchanged because I passed the references, or I passed the pointers. I passed the addresses of x and y to this function, and it exchanged these values at to the particular references or pointers or addresses, and therefore it was exchanged. Therefore, the function you are going to write has to be int star a int star b. These are the pointer variables. These are the pointer variables. They will accept pointers. Therefore, you have put in here 2000 and 5000. So inside the function, therefore, temp is equals to star a. Value at this pointer. Similarly, you are exchanging values at these pointers, and then the swapping takes place, and you get the swapped values in the variables x and y. So I've written this program for your information. So I assigned x is equal to 50, y is equal to 20. So we have got here, we print the values before you swap and call this function, that is swap by value, swap numbers value. As you say, swap numbers value first time. Let us see what happens. Then after swapping, let us see what the value is going to be. The second function I have written swap numbers reference. So here I pass these pointers. As you see here, I'm passing the pointer of x and pointer of y, the address of x and address of y, and see what happens after uh, swapping. So here is the result. As you see, program to swap numbers, swap by value. As you see, they remain the same before and after. When I use the function where I pass the pointers to these x and y. As you see, they are exchanged here. You pass 50 and 20, you pass the pointer of address of x and address of y, and it exchange, and you see that x contains 20 now and y contains 50. So this is how you have to do while passing parameters. If you want to bring about a change, some change inside the function, you have to pass parameters by reference. With that, we come to one more very important understanding. For example, now you understand while why while using scanf, you use ampersand n. That is, that n, suppose you were to pass only n, nothing would have happened. You accepted the number, and that had to come out from the function scanf. Therefore, we passed reference, or we passed the pointer of n, or the address of n in scanf. So that's why now you understand why we did that. And we also did, for example, when we wanted to input numbers into an array, when we use scanf, then it's a percentage d ampersand a of I. So it went, we gave the reference or the address of each of those uh, 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 places, or in the array. So now we try to understand arrays now. So for example, int A30, that is, this is what is called the static allocation of memory. So I have created 30 cells here of integer type called A array. Now, when you use dynamic allocation, I just say int star A, then we create similar. This is a int star malloc, size of int into 30. Now both, this is int a30 and int star a refers the same. It is the same, because here I have allocated 30 into 4, so much of memory to a, and the starting address is in a. And here also, now you understand why when we passed for example, to input array, we said input array n comma a or n comma x. So I gave just the name of the array. Now you have to understand, very important understanding, when we declare array int array a30, a, the variable a will contain the starting address of this array, which contains 30 cells. Here it is explained, therefore, int star a, when you allocate memory, the variable a contains the starting address of this much of memory which has been allocated dynamically. Therefore, this is how we used. So, input array. So, we say, we declare these are the prototypes of these two functions, bubble sort. And when we call these functions in the main, so we said n comma a, n comma a. We did not put square bracket, we put just n comma a, because we are passing here by reference. A contains the starting address. Therefore, when we input numbers into this array, automatically it comes out because I'm passing by reference here. So you have passed by reference the arrays without knowing. So now you understand the difference between passing by value and passing by reference. Thank you.